You're standing in line for coffee. You make eye contact with the person next to you. You smile, that polite, automatic smile. And somehow, 90 seconds later, you know about their divorce, their mother's surgery, and the apartment they're about to lose. You didn't ask, you're not even sure what your face is doing, but they keep going and you keep nodding, because what else are you supposed to do? We've all been on that end of it. The coworker who opens with their therapy session before you've even put your bag down. The first date who's 3 sentences into childhood trauma before the menus arrive. The post online that makes you wonder, did they mean to share that? But here's the part we mention less. Most of us, more often than we'd like to admit, have also been the one talking. The one who heard their own voice go a little too far and couldn't quite stop. So the question isn't really about them, it's about all of us. Why do we overshare? First, what oversharing actually is, because it's easy to get wrong. It isn't about a topic being too personal. It's about a mismatch between what's being said and what the moment can actually hold. The exact same story that's perfect at a close friend's kitchen table can feel like an ambush in a job interview. The same openness that belongs in a support group lands strangely on a first introduction. The content doesn't change, the context does. So oversharing is really a calibration problem. Most of us carry a kind of quiet internal gauge, a read on what this person, this setting, this moment can take. Oversharing is what happens when that gauge is off, or overridden, or was never quite there to begin with. And some of it isn't a slip at all. Some of it is a tool. The salesperson who opens with a story about their own failure isn't venting. They're lowering your defenses. Strategic openness builds trust, and people who persuade for a living know it. Creators do it at scale. Share the struggle, the setback, the messy middle, and an audience feels like they know you. The vulnerability can be completely real and still be doing a job. From the outside, it looks identical to the nervous coffee shop confession. Underneath, it's the opposite. Chosen, paced, pointed at a goal. That's the line worth holding on to. The rest of what we're talking about is the other kind. The kind where something else is in the driver's seat. And there's rarely just one something. Usually, it's a few things stacked together. For some people, it's a way of reaching for closeness fast. If distance feels unsafe, sharing something intimate quickly is an attempt to collapse it, to compress months of getting to know someone into a single conversation. The hunger for connection is real. The timing is just running ahead of the relationship. For others, it's the nervous system. Anxiety builds a kind of internal pressure, a noise that needs somewhere to go. And saying it out loud, to a person who responds with warmth, really does release it. That's not a metaphor, it's your body settling. The catch is that the relief arrives at the expense of the moment, and it borrows the other person's calm to find your own. Then there's the loop that runs on validation. You share something raw, you get sympathy, the distress quiets, for a while. But it doesn't resolve, so it comes back, often louder, and the sharing becomes a refill you keep needing without quite noticing. Some of it is about what hasn't been processed. The things we haven't fully worked through have a way of surfacing on their own, in moments we didn't plan, in a way that can feel less like a choice and more like something that simply couldn't stay down. And a lot of it is just loneliness. When someone's been short on connection for long enough, the urgency overrides the calibration. Too much to say, not enough people to say it to, and it all rushes the exit the second there's an audience. Worth saying, not all of it is pain. Some people simply run more open. They don't feel the social tug to filter as strongly, and in plenty of rooms, that's the best thing about them. Context decides whether the same openness is refreshing or a little too much. Then, we built a machine for it. Social platforms learned early that the personal, the raw, the confessional gets rewarded, with likes, with comments, with reach. The incentive to share more got wired straight into the design. And the language of therapy, useful in the right room, went portable in a way that doesn't always survive the trip. We learned to address a small circle of friends while actually speaking to everyone we've ever met, and we called it normal. Here's the part worth sitting with. Almost all of it is reaching for something. Connection, reassurance, closeness, relief. The motion is toward people, not away from them. But the effect is often the reverse. When someone shares too much, too soon, too often, the listener slowly stops feeling like a friend and starts feeling like a container. And containers get set down. People pull back. And the person sharing rarely reads that pulling back as "that was too much." They read it as rejection, which deepens the very ache that started it, which raises the urgency, which pushes out the next round. the loop tightens. There's something quietly tragic in it, a behavior trying so hard to build closeness, steadily pushing away the thing it's reaching for. So oversharing is almost never about having no filter. It's almost always about something real underneath, a longing for connection that feels urgent, an anxiety that needs somewhere to land, a pain that hasn't found a better home. Understanding that doesn't mean you have to absorb all of it or pretend it isn't a lot, but it does change how you hear it, because the person talking, usually, isn't trying to overwhelm you. They're trying to reach you. And even when the calibration is way off, that is about the most human thing a person can do. Do you know anyone who tells you everything almost as soon as you've met them? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe to catch the next one.